Welcome to another edition of The Gray Area. I'm Ask Isaiah Rose, and I have a special guest with me on this episode today, Roseborn Boateng, and we're here to speak on one of her non-for-profits that really tapped into something that I feel is very important. So we're going to provide her the platform to speak about it. Roseborn, thank you for tapping into this episode, and welcome to Happy Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Happy Saturday.
Right. So, before we really get into Roots for Books, that's the name of your non-for-profit. Before we get into the importance of Roots for Books, I wanted to really get a lineage of how you got to this point and really how that developed and why it's so important to you.
Yeah, well, how I've developed about 2 years ago, I've been thinking about ways to give back to my country, which is Ghana. And I've always wanted to give back. You know, you get to a point in life, you're like, I'm here, I'm happy where I'm at. How do I give back to my country, and what ways? And they always say, do what you love. Reading has always been a huge thing in my life. It's shaped me, the books that I've read growing up. And I wanted to take that and be able to give that back to the children, because I know growing up in Ghana, we didn't have access to books. And had we, it would have been great. So having that coming from Ghana and coming here and having all these possibilities of all these books you can read and how it can shape you, I wanted to be able to give that back to the children there, since they don't have that. And I think it's an important tool for any child to grow up with books. So,
As a child in Ghana and having a love for reading, what was that feeling like knowing that you didn't? Did you know at the time growing up in Ghana that there wasn't? Did you feel like it wasn't access, or you didn't have that level of awareness until you got here?
that's the thing. I didn't have that level of awareness until I got here. When I got here, I remember when I went to school, I went to the fourth grade, and one of the first books that I picked up was Harry Potter. No, I love Harry Potter.
Right.
And it just all this magical adventure, and I was kind of like, wow, this is amazing. And I didn't have those kind of books in Ghana. Ghana is very great with the schools, but it's just very structured. There's no reading time, and there's none of that. So not having awareness, one, and just getting here and being able to have all these possibilities was really amazing.
So once you got here and developed as a student, and then growing into young adulthood, and living your life, did you always have that feeling that you needed to give back, or was it something more recent that really triggered those emotions from when you were younger?
I think I've always wanted to. I've always wanted to. I was born here, raised there, and then came back here at the age of 10. The age of 10, you don't really know. It's kind of been you always want to give back in some way. You just don't know how to. And
Mm.
the idea of how to is kind of happened about 2 years ago of, oh, you do love reading. I think you can possibly give back in some way books to kids. I think it resonated more so. I think about 2018, I took a trip back home after I haven't been home for like 10 years.
Mm.
And my mom's house, there's these kids that she kind of has at home, and we were teaching them the ABCs. And one kid was in school, but one kid wasn't, because the mom didn't have enough money to put that kid in school. He was about 5 or 6. So the kid that was in school knew a lot about her ABCs, but the boy who wasn't in school, he didn't. So when we would start saying A, B, C, D, or write your, 1, 2, 3s, he was so intrigued and wanted to learn so much more because he didn't have that kind of access.
Mm.
And I was, in the morning we'll be sleeping, and he'll come and knock on the door. He started calling me teacher. He's like,
This is
teacher, can you come in? I have my pen and paper. I want to learn the ABCs. And I think once that trip, I was kind of like, when I got back, I was like, okay, I want to be able to do something for this kid. I want to be able to do something for kids like him that don't have that. So I think from then I just kind of began this idea of trying to give back and figure out how I can do that.
So once you plant that seed after experiencing that that trip back home, what were some challenges for you that you had to go through to really get this non for profit started and really putting it out there, not just getting it done, but just internally with yourself? Like, what were some challenges that you had to face to make sure that it got done?
I think it's tough because you write out the idea and you're like, let's say 2 years ago I had it planned. I'm like, okay, I want to do this, but I had work. I had work. Work takes up your whole life. It's like a 9 to 5. There's no time to really do things that you love. So I think if we're starting from there, I think work really kind of took most of my time, going to work every day and weekends was off and you just want to spend time with your family or your spouse. So I think taking away work, I had to put off work for some time. I got pregnant, had a baby, and I think during that time, I had a lot of time to figure things out, to like be home and focus on like trying to be a mom. And I was just like, okay, this is the time I have so much time now. This is the time to open up this business, open up this process, and just start reaching out to people to help me. And I think within this time, within this year, 2020, is when I've been able to kind of overcome that challenge of, I'm going to do this. I'm finally going to put this plan in motion. I'm going to get this registered. I'm going to reach out to schools in Ghana and just kind of get everything all together. So I think the challenge was really just kind of not doing the 9 to 5 and just really just focusing on the mission that I have at hand.
Now, you speak to this year being a pivotal point for you and getting it done. So much is going on in 2020 in regards to COVID, the pandemic, and then you have so much going on in terms of social injustice and how African Americans within this country and has sparked a movement all over the world for empowerment, for Black and Brown people in just period. So in living in this time and experiencing this while putting this together, what are some thoughts that you have in regards to making sure that youth have those experiences that you had in terms of just imagining and really seeing something greater than themselves beyond the moment they're in at that time?
Yeah, I think it's funny because I think I was gonna, with COVID happened in one. It's not the greatest time to say, hey guys, here's my new business.
Right, 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 right.
you know, but I think that I was at a point where I'm like, I've decided I want to do this. I don't care what pandemic is going on. I want
Mm,
to put this out. I want to start working on this right now. And whatever challenges come, I'm just going to try and face them head on. You
mm,
know, it's been challenging with COVID, but I think it hasn't been as challenging because, you know, for me personally, because this is still let's say, a virtual world that we're in. So everything for me is virtual up until I have to go to Ghana in January. Now, granted, Ghana schools are closed right now, but I've still been able to reach out to people who are in need, schools that are in need, and we've
mm,
still been able to kind of work things out as far as dates and whatnot. But I think it has been a bit hard because we've been trying to like reach a, a lot more people than we thought we would reach, and we've reached a few, not too many because of COVID. There's events that we wanted to do to kind of put Roof for Books out there that we have to hold off on up until next year. But I think with COVID and everything happening, I think I just wanted to, I didn't want to procrastinate, with
mm.
everything happening. I wanted to put it out there and then maybe just figure out how to beat those challenges regardless of everything that's happening. And I think with like the social injustices going on, a lot of the books that we were given, there's a lot of Caucasian heroes. And with that, a lot of the donors that we've gotten have been sending us African American heroes and African
Mm,
American characters. And that didn't even resonate with me until everything that's happening, that, African kids needs to see kids that look like them as the
right.
characters. So I think that's a lot of what's been happening. I mean, a lot of the books that we've been promoting, a lot of books that we have been receiving from these awesome donors have just been like, hey, we love your organization, but we also believe that these children should see characters that look like them. So it's
Mm.
been pretty awesome.
I just wanna say, based on like the foundation of this non for profit and how it has sparked so much in my personal experience for my career, uh, reading really triggered so much for me because as a avid sports enthusiast, you know, me going through my experiences with cerebral palsy and not necessarily having to uh, really experience it from a physical standpoint,
Right.
reading and just really getting introduced and really just diving deep into the history of sports really enhanced me and my confidence. So this idea that books are so important to the imagination and they can help you, transfix and move to different spaces even if you're in
Yeah.
one one box. You get what I'm saying? To
Yeah.
have that brand identity, like you're saying, for children to see that, even if they're in Ghana or anywhere in the world, to
Right.
have that identity and still be able to grow from just reading a book is so important. So
Right.
that's one thing I have to commend you on in that regard.
Thank
Just
you.
putting this together. Um, what would you say for yourself and your team? What would be something that you say that you discovered about yourself and your team during this process?
What did we discover about myself and my team? That's a good question. What I discovered about myself, I've discovered that I haven't read as many books as I think I have.
Okay. Okay.
No, what I've discovered about myself, I've low key been like a low key procrastinator, and I
Mm,
think that being able to say I'm going to do this, I'm going to make this work, being able to say I want to help as many people, as many children as I can.
mm,
um, I want to give the US has so much books. There's all these places that I found that are just like, yeah, we'll give you this, we'll give you that. And I'm like, to be able to just kind of get up and have that goal and have that mission that, hey, I really want to truly make a change in somewhere. I think that's kind of helped me stop being, kind of being like, hey, I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I'm gonna do
right,
this now.
right,
So it's kind of helped me kind of step my game up. Like as they would say, like be a hustler.
right. No, but I think in that regard, doing something that's bigger than yourself pushed you in that regard. When in a lot of respects,
Very true. Very
when
true.
you when you think more so not selfishly, but more in
Not
regards
about
to
me.
yourself, you can drag your feet when you're thinking about yourself. But
Right.
when you're thinking about something bigger than yourself
Very true.
and impacting things and people beyond just yourself,
Yeah.
it pushes you in a space that maybe you didn't realize that you had those capabilities before. So,
Yeah, very true, very true, very true, very true. And I think my team, I think they'd probably have to speak for themselves, but I think there's just a lot of people just they think they love the organization, and there's so many ideas and there's just so much possibilities that I think they and me just want to do. And I think we just kind of, yeah, it's just, I think it's a learning curve, to be honest. This is all new to me, having an organization, keeping it up, trying to make sure I fulfill my mission that I've said I will do.
mm,
Uh, So I think that's what it is. I think we're just trying to get through this first year, this first mission that we have said will accomplish. And I think, I think we're learning from this year so that,
Mm,
next year comes, the next country we decide to do, we don't make the same mistakes that we have maybe made this year,
mm.
to make the next year better.
As this has manifested itself and really, you've been able to put it out there publicly and get get responses back. What has been the overall response from not only Ghana but just everywhere?
It's been a good response. Family, friends have been very responsive to it. I was a bit surprised because, like you said, with everything going on in 2020, I thought we were going to hit some roadblocks. We've hit a few roadblocks, but people have been very, Isaiah, there's just, people are amazing. Like, I love people. They have been so supportive. They have been generous every single day. We get books in the mailbox. It's just locally, people have just been able to drop off books at our donation centers. I didn't expect that, to be honest. I expected that, we set a goal, and then, still till now we still be trying to reach the goal. Within like a month or two, we already surpassed that goal. We said 600 books. We've received over 1,000 books, and we're receiving more books from companies that we probably have to hold off for the next country we go to, because
Mm-hmm.
Ghana is already set at this point.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's really kind of, I don't even know how to express how thankful I am and how grateful I am to people in general, because they have been very, very supportive, and I can't we can't do this without people in general. So it's been a great response, and I really appreciate that.
yeah. So as this continues to grow, what would you say the because you've achieved so many short-term goals. What would you say the overarching long-term goal for Rosewood Books would be?
The overall long-term goal is to build some libraries in Africa. I think in some rural areas in Africa, I think, yes, we'll get some books. We'll partner with some schools that need books, and we'll be able to have them have those books, have the kids have those books. But the main goal would be to build libraries in, I don't know, maybe Ghana, because I'm from Ghana. I'm biased. Nigeria, Kenya, a place in a place where they can go and actually be able to take these books, take them home, and be able to just experience the idea of going to a library and having just unlimited access to books. So I think that's the main goal. The main goal is to, build a library for the children in Africa.
Mm. And with this start, the I don't even want to say the sky's the limit because it's way beyond that. It's so boundless. I think that what you've done, what you and your team have done, just on a day to day, seeing the growth from the outside looking in, it's only gonna get bigger. So I want to just say thank you for coming on.
Thank
Before I let you go,
Yes.
is there anything or anywhere that you will want to, you know, put any links up or let people know where to reach you guys or where they can donate? Any donation centers? Where can people put? Where can people
Go.
continue to reach out to you guys?
Well, as far as book drives, we're still accepting books, but our main focus now is trying to get the books to Ghana right now. So we
Okay.
created a campaign. It's a GoFundMe campaign. If you look up Root for Books, you'll find it. And we just want to be able to get these resources to Ghana. So if you want to check that out, that's amazing. As far as books, you can always ship the books. You can check the website out, rootforbooks.org, as well, to figure out ways to get the books to us. We do have donation stations. We have one at some apartment complexes in New Jersey. In New Jersey, we have donation stations. In Maryland, we can do curbside pickups. You just have to reach out to us on our website, and we will do that as well. So we're trying to get donation stations in different states, but for now we only have it in New Jersey and in Maryland.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a start.
Yeah.
Where can they follow Russo Books on Twitter, Instagram,
You
anything
can
like
follow us on Instagram, Root for Books, and Facebook.
that? Okay,
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram.
most definitely, Roseborn. Thank you so much. Thank you to Russo Books for this campaign, which is not only just going to be short term, but obviously it's going to take on a life of its own. And with the genuine and great effort that you guys have put in, it's already proven great dividends. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for that. This is the Gray Area. I'm Isaiah Rhodes. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube at Ask Isaiah. This podcast will be up on iTunes as well. So Roseborn, thank you so much for tapping in. Roseborn Boateng, Russo Books, everyone, thank you for tapping in. We'll be back soon.